aware, after India has taken presidency of the G20, the global attention is there in India. India has been growing in all the sectors, especially in the space sector. As you see during the COVID season also, world over, many countries couldn't be a part of leading the pharmaceutical world, but India has been achieving great many achievements in that field. So much so in the space industry also. So as of now, some 500 private players are there in the space industry and space growth, space development, and many things related to space. So, in order to give more attention to space industry, we have invited SpaceKidz India to share their perceptions of G20 meeting in India and to introduce the founder of SpaceKidz India. I would like to say a little bit of introduction about her. So she's been in the field for more than 7.5 years. She is Dr. Srimathy Kesan, founder of SpaceKidz India. And India is the like only growing country which has made launch of space satellites at a very reasonable rate. So everybody can accept that. And more this market is becoming so valuable that players from all over the world are approaching India to launch their satellites, including the US, UK, and Eurospace Agency. And SpaceKidz India has already launched 18 balloon satellites, 3 suborbital satellites, and 3 orbital satellites. And they are also the ambassadors to NASA, and European Space Agency, and also GCTC Russia. So, welcome, Dr. Srimathy Kesan. So, I would like to get your opinion on India's presidency in G20 and what role does it play in the growth of space industry in India.
Hello, good morning, Joy. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm extremely honored to be talking about this G20 topic because I think everywhere across the globe, it's become the most powerful topic of the season or the era, I should say, because India is taken over the presidency. Of course, it is on turn basis. We all know about that. But yet, when India is in the forefront, globally everybody is watching India because not only technology, but rest of it also there is a rise in all the streams. As you rightly mentioned with the pharmaceutical and everything, we were there giving all the medication for COVID across the globe. We were supporting everybody.
Yes.
So I think we are there on the top. And it was just that we needed to get that leadership, and we got the leadership also this year. So we will be working from December 1st. I think we've already started running a lot of events.
Yeah.
And space 2020, there was a big reform in the space industry.
Yeah.
Honorable Prime Minister has completely changed the outlook, the perception of what space industry was 60 years before. So, everything is being privatized. ISRO's facilities can be utilized by a private player, and technology know-how is being transferred. A lot of support ISRO is giving to the private players now. So, what is happening is private players are emerging as trendsetters because most of the private players are all youngsters. And India being the most youthful country, I think we are playing a great role in the space industry with all cutting edge technologies and everything. And out of the box innovations are coming out.
Yeah, as you said rightly, India has also allotted some $13 million to the growth of space industry so that in 2025 it will reach a global level. In order to make use of the young talents, you are also involved in getting young talents across the society, I can say. And I know that you've also involved government school children.
Yes.
And people with lesser privileges to enjoy the use of the space industry, and it is something so exciting to every youth of this country to get themselves involved somehow or the other.
It is
And I think
exciting,
that,
Joy.
yeah, and I think that you get all the pride over it, and I tell you that she is the first person to bring space technology to normal people and make it normal and not something high sounding or something like that. So it's a great talent that we have, Dr. Srimathy Kesan, who's been doing a marvelous job in the country and in Tamil Nadu, doing a great job across the world. She's been to NASA and she's been to everywhere around the world. So, what is your experience in involving? You must have seen a lot of young people around the world. How are the youth in our country, according to you?
I should actually quote an anecdote that Chris Kohler, the Spacecraft Consortium director at University of Colorado, he mentioned when we actually sent a proposal for a 64-gram scientific invention. My team had sent a proposal, and when we sent that, he was like, I just fell off the chair. This is the idiom he used.
Yeah.
So he was like, my goodness, Indian children at the age of 16 and 17, if they are able to do something so much, then I can really gauge what the scientists can do. So that's it. That's what has been over the years now. Our ISRO scientists, I don't think they had any plush facilities.
Yes.
In comparison to the other space agencies, minimal budgets were given. But yet, Chandrayaan, Mangalyaan, all these are proof to our success. And similarly, what we have done at SpaceKidz India is we went to the grassroots. We handpicked all government school children, 2-tier, 3-tier children, and we have mentored them. In fact, our Azadi Sat for the 75th Independence Day is a testimony to that, because we have chosen about 750 girl children, only girls. This is going to be the first satellite wherein 750 girls have been involved. Across the globe, nobody has done that. So we've handpicked them from government schools from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, trained them, teaching them the basics of space, basics of coding and the electronics and everything, and built this satellite, the Azadi Sat. Of course, it didn't go through, it was not placed in the orbit on 7th of August. But again, ISRO has given this opportunity to us to rebuild, because these young girls, have fought for it.
Yeah.
First ever time they were coming out of their villages to do something like this. So it's a big thing for them. And now, Honorable Prime Minister is pumping so much of focus on space industry. So I'm very sure these young minds are going to be the brighter minds of India in the coming years.
Yeah.
So it is just a platform that you are creating, the ignition that you are doing, and giving it to the.
Yeah, as you said, we are focusing on the young children, especially the girl children, and India is also celebrating the 75 years. We have just completed 75 years of independence, and being independent is becoming independent in every sector and every industry as much as possible. What is the future plans of you, as well as what you want Indian youth to become as, because we are the most populated young population in the world.
Absolutely. We are the most young populated country, for which I think I would first say avoid brain drain. See, we need to keep our children here within India, for which we need, of course, we do have IITs, but I think we need more universities, world-class universities to be there, so that children do not go for masters or PhD to the Western countries. They have all the facilities here for research and everything. And not only that, we need to parallelly give them the jobs. If we are able to balance this, of course, there are a lot of money being given as seed funds for students who want to do startups.
Yes.
So under the government schemes.
Mm.
So it's very, very interesting that we are in a beautiful era now. So this needs to be channelized properly. So we need the basics, the foundation to be good.
Mm.
So if we have a lot of universities with world-class amenities and everything, then I think we will not lose these children going away to the West.
Yeah.
And then parallelly the jobs, as I mentioned. So if we have education, job and business going hand in hand, the entrepreneurial journey, I think then India is going to not only lead the G20, I think we will lead everywhere.
Yeah, as you said, startup is having a big market in India, and they are encouraging startups to a very large level in all the sectors. And in space industry also recently, along with your satellite, this IIT
Skyroot,
students, they were also involved in that. So there is much more opportunity even as G20 countries are discussing as to what to do next for the like for the coming future. India is not only promoting space industry, it is also promoting startups in the space industry and also education. As you said, global level institutions like standard institutions want to make the way to India to really study how the Indian youths are receiving them and giving them an opportunity in the global level. And okay, so let's go to some other incident which happened in your life. As you shared to me about the zero gravity travel, which recently you had in NASA, I would like to mention about that. And space tourism is fast picking up as an industry all over the world, especially with developed countries. They are doing it very casually, but for India, it's a big opportunity to launch that. So, what is your experience in that, and what is the future of space tourism in India?
Oh my god, I should say it was like really mind blowing. Mind blowing, once a lifetime experience, I should say. The zero gravity was. See, everybody wants to be an astronaut, and it is very, very difficult. They do not understand what kind of training they undergo. We still have only Rakesh Sharma in our pride, but lot more to go. Of course, the Gaganyaan program is on the anvil, and we will be having 4 more astronauts coming up. But but any child, in any school, when you interact with them, what would you want to be? The in thing is, I want to be an astronaut. So if you have to be an astronaut, you need to undergo a lot of training and everything. Initially you have this analog astronaut programs across the globe. You have in Poland, you have a lot in the European countries.
Yeah.
So when you have these in the European countries, I think we are looking at bringing that to India. And with the Gaganyaan program, if we are able to do something in this regard in India, I think a lot of youth will be motivated to be astronauts in the real time. The zero gravity was an amazing experience, and I think I'm the first Indian woman to be doing that, and who had an opportunity to fly with the moonwalker. Charlie Duke, General Charlie Duke was an Apollo astronaut, NASA astronaut, who was with our, the team. Celebrity astronaut wrangler Christina Koch, and the first woman who was in the mission control at the Apollo, Poppy Notcutt. She was also with us, and Richard Garriott, a private astronaut, he was with us. So this was a celebrity flight. It was absolutely interesting. But my mind was, what can we do with this, personal experience? Just happy that I had the experience and leave it at that, or do something beyond that. Then I was thinking, it's not going to be, a very, very big thing. It is just that the idea and how we execute the whole thing with so much of population. I think we will have brilliant pilots who can do all these maneuvers and everything. It's the funding that is good, because every time you cannot travel to another country. You cannot travel to the US, or you cannot travel to Russia, who's having this zero gravity, to experience that. There is a lot of, if you think about the finances, yes, you're going to be making a lot of returns on the ROI. So I think this needs to be developed in India, and And space tourism is one sector that is really going to be picking up because everybody is bored traveling to Australia, having those pictures and publishing it in social media. They want to do something with space. So this is it.
So, giving so much input in that. So, it is time to wind up this discussion. As you know, India's space industry is growing far and wide, and we have crossed this 10,000 crore mark in developing the space industry in our country. I'm sure that the youth of this country will be tune themselves to grow in all the sectors possible. And as she said, there's an open invitation for each and everyone to involve themselves or their kids for the growth of space industry in our country. And G20 has provided the right platform, and maybe like India is leading the developing countries and taking them also forward, as India has also planned many satellites for the use of SAARC countries. India is having a definite space not only in Asia but in also global level.
Joy, here we have to mention, the launch of OneWeb satellites. That is, become a very remarkable thing for our ISRO, not only ISRO, for the space fraternity. And now the, formation of InSpace, that is a very important thing for the business. InSpace is one arm which is going to be dealing with the business and procuring business across the globe. We are in a strategic location and absolutely economical with regards to our launches. So that is the reason most people are looking at India. But only thing is, Indians are still, marketing shy, I should say. So that needs to be broken. I think we have to, with two hands, we have to welcome everybody. And G20 is a great platform to exhibit what India is got in the true sense. That's very, very important. Not only culture, there is technology, there is food, there is everything in India. It is just that all these countries, all the tourists need to come here. All the entrepreneurs across the globe should come here to do business. We need to have a lot of FDI coming into India. And I think then India is going to be globally a very, very strong and powerful nation. And kudos to our Honorable Prime Minister, who's really forging into all these collaborations and bringing in the latest for our country and the benefit of our people.
So with those words, we are closing this discussion. Thank you for listening to us. And as you said, India is poised for a growth, and this G20 is going to push it forward. Thank you so much for spending your time. Thank you.
Thank you.